YouTube, what's the vibe? It's your boy Zebo 708, and I'm back at you with another one. Let's talk about it. All right, so I'm bringing you two fragrances from a house that I have never heard of. Never even seen or smelled any fragrance from this house. Though I will say in the gate, I was impressed. I'm not trying to sell you on these fragrances. This is just my opinion on two fragrances that I stumbled across. Total accident. Total accident. Your boy was just moving around. I decided to go into this particular fragrance store that I normally, frequent. I go through there every now and then, see what they got. Might cop some, might not. I kind of go through a lot and put my nose on a few fragrances. And if I'm compelled to buy some, I do. This was the occasion. So I go through there. I'm looking around. I'm passing the usual suspects. All of the luxury, designer, super hype fragrances that everybody is, boasting about and pretty much putting us up on game about. I overlooked those. Kind of, familiar with those. I can always go online and grab one of those. But I seen one particular box that caught my eye and intrigued me. That's what get me all the time, the box, the presentation. It just opens me up to inquire about the fragrance. So the fragrances that I'm talking about is from the house of Malul. The first fragrance that I'm gonna, talk about, if you're familiar with this house, if you aware of their fragrances, cool. If not, let me introduce you to Malul. This is the first fragrance, Jet Black Horizon. Box is, like I said, this is what caught my attention. The whole scene and setting kind of paints a picture of, what the fragrance may or may not smell like. Notes on the back. First fragrance. After I saw that one, poured it down off the shelf, I tested it out on a testing strip. Smelled good. Second fragrance. Malul 593 Bali. Box, pretty basic. Not too catchy. Didn't work on my imagination or nothing like that. But I definitely, jumped on that Jet Black Horizon. That was the first thing that I tested. I really needed to have that joint on my skin, put it on a testing script, smelled good. Loved it. You know what I mean? But I also know when you're dealing with these fragrance houses, these fragrance stores, you can put a fragrance on a testing strip and that has absolutely nothing to do with how this fragrance is going to smell on your skin. So it smelled good to me. I wanted to take a gamble on it. Usually, I kind of like ask a few more questions and stuff like that because these fragrances costed me, the ticket on these fragrances was $110 a piece. It just so happened that, I was interested in two. We got to talking fragrances, which is a good thing to always, have some type of understanding of fragrances, what you want and how you want to smell when you're going into these perfume stores, looking for fragrances. Because they're going to talk to you like you don't know what you're talking about or like you don't know what you want. So once you start conversing with these people and chopping it up with them about what it is that you're looking for, how you want to smell, you know, and you standing firm on that, even though they're introducing you to something that you may not have never even, you know, heard of before. You do know how you want to smell, regardless. Fuck what they talking about. You know what you want. You know how you want to smell. And that's the only thing that matters. There was at least 10 fragrances on shelf from this house. And 5 of them, or 6, absolutely, in my opinion, boo-boo. Trash. I'm not going to say trash because somebody else might love them. But to me, smelled like some shit that I didn't even want sprayed by me. Didn't want that shit to even touch my skin. I was totally backing the fuck up. Like, I don't want that on me. I don't even want that to even, like, blow over on my motherfucking clothes and set into my clothes and have me. Nah, I'm good on them. Slid them joints to the side. Because sometimes you'll get in these stores and they'll be trying to push them fragrances off on you that are not selling. I ain't going. Miss me. Get the buddy. Let buddy get it. So, you know, after going through them and not liking them, I was almost finna, you know, discard this whole house. I was finna, even the good fragrances in it, they was finna go along with the bad ones. I was finna just chop it up like, fuck it. That house ain't for me. So, I'm definitely gonna put the notes up here in the corner for you so you can pause it, get you a nice, you know, rundown on the notes, see if it's something that, you know, that you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in the air, testing strip, skin, which I already then wore this and got a nice vibe from it. Atomizer test, nice, decent. Opening, very nice, beautiful, almost like a fresh classical kind of a smell. It's elegant, it's alluring, definitely sophisticated. So, in my honest opinion, this will be a summer fragrance. You can wear it whenever you want to wear it though. How you want to wear it. It's totally up to you. You know, this is your aura. Create what you will, how you will. But I would definitely be wearing this, you know, at some type of, you know, event where I'm trying to make a statement. You see what I'm saying? I definitely have to have this on with something, you know, is really going on, and I want to make a statement when I enter. You know, I want my presence to be known, and this is definitely going to do that for me. I'm going to slap this bad baby on a testing strip because I know it's going to change in the air, but it's definitely light. It's definitely fresh. It's definitely potent and gentleman-like. You know, this is one of them fragrances that's, it's elegant, it's beautiful, it's all of the above. It's that. No hype, no cap, no fronting, no none of that. If it wasn't, I wouldn't even have it. You see what I'm saying? We talking about 110. I paid $90 for each fragrance. So that kind of money, I'm not even walking up out of the fragrance store if I'm not loving that fragrance. I'm working hard, you know, I'm dedicating my time to, you know, purchase fragrances. So I'm not into giving up money, you know, for some shit that I ain't even finna like or wear, period. And I don't suggest that you do, you know. Put that shit in the air on your skin, test it before you bring it home. So it does change a bit, but it still has all of the qualities of an attention grabber. No doubt. Definitely that. it did change from that light, fresh kind of aromatic smell to a more grounded, light, aromatic, fresh, fruity. It's a beautiful fragrance. I'm gonna put that on my skin real quick and see what it do. Yeah, so it changed also from the air, the testing strip, to the skin. Definitely get some type of fruit. You get a little sweet in there, but at the same time you get a grounded, woody kind of a sense to it. It's not, you know, a floral, fruity fragrance. You definitely get that woody aspect to it, or some type of spice. But it's all blended, you know, well. Nothing is overpowering, nothing. It's all just like meshed together in a concoction of fruity, woodsy, kind of like, and I don't want to say minty, but like cinnamon kind of like smell. Definitely, you know, something that I'm going to really enjoy this summer. Really enjoy this summer. And, you know, I'm going to be creating events to go to just to put that joint on. So we're going to jump into 593 Valley. That's how it looks in the box. Now, this is one that caught my attention too, because just looking at the bottle kind of puts me in the mind of being on an island, like that water that's like right on the beach, that tropical kind of water that just speak vacation. It just speak lounging and luxury and just laid back. So that was the first, you know, image that I got from it when I saw the bottle, and I'm like, man, you know, kind of like taking it all in as far as imagery goes, because imagery plays a major role. That's why a lot of these houses put these, you know, fragrances in certain kinds of bottles, or, you know, they have these, you know, decorative presentations, you know, that the bottles sit in, because they know that imagery plays a role in that too. You know, that's almost like setting the stage for, you know, the fragrance. So it's well put together. That blue is like, man, it's just like, you know, vacation time, lounging, you know, kick back, just, you know. And as you can see, I already, you know, kind of been hitting him in the head already. So, you know, that says something. You know, I've been spraying this joint already. Okay, we're going to put it in the air tester atomizer. Nice spray. Nice spray. Atomizer test is decent, you know. Atomizer test is decent. Can't really, you know, can't really complain about that. So, you know, that's love. And, you know, I'm trying to look and see, you know, because like I said, I haven't seen anything on this house. I've seen a few on these particular fragrances, you know, no reviews on these fragrances. I have seen other fragrances by this house that, you know, are more notable. So, you know, that's I don't know. I didn't get the chance to smell those because they, you know, they just didn't have them. So I shuffled through what they had and picked out what works well with me. Nice spray. Again, summer banger, fresh, potent. And this one, you know, it kind of fits this whole color scheme of the juice in the bottle, because it definitely smells like an island, a vacation, just relaxation, just a beautiful smell that, you know, kicks in, and it's not something that is kind of strict in, and I'm trying to think of the right words, not strict in like performance. You know, you have some fragrances that's just, you know, hard line. Hey, look, strictly into evening wear. This is more of a laid back, calm, relaxing aura. You know, the type of energy that exudes just calm, peaceful, beautiful, and relaxing. This that type of vibe. So I'm gonna throw it on skin, see what it do on skin. Now I have worn these, you know, through the dry down, and they definitely change, and they definitely still remain potent, but they kind of like settle into a more mature smell. Whereas when you initially spray them, they very, very, very aggressive in their performance. And what I mean by that is, you know, the notes that's in it, you're definitely gonna smell those notes. Which with this fragrance, I definitely will put it up here. For, you know, you can pause it, go through the breakdown, see if it's something that you like. But with this one, you definitely get the fruity, the lavender, the cinnamon, and the woodsy, kind of like leathery vibe. I would say more so like either soft leather, you know how that soft leather smell, or suede. It's definitely one of those kind of vibes where nothing is overpowering nothing. It's a perfect blend. You know, I did remember that it had mimosa in the notes, which, if you know anything about mimosa, man, somebody getting lucky. Somebody getting lucky. You know, hopefully it's, you know, is whoever wearing this here. But again, that's just me. This is my take on it. I walked out with it. I spent $90 on it, so I definitely had to love it to walk out of there with it. I wouldn't suggest that you go into on some website and order these without getting your nose on them. Look, $100, $90, $80, that's too much money to be purchasing a fragrance that you may not even like, or you may not even want to wear, period. You know, you work too hard, you know, you dedicate too much time to your money, to give your money to, you know, a fragrance that you just ain't vibing with, period. You know what I'm saying? And we think it's smart with these fragrances. So, you know, again, anything for me over 70, $80, I need to smell that. I need to test that. Run my test. Let me see how this perform before I just throw my money on the counter. Nah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't suggest nobody do that. You know what you buy. How you smell is one of the main things that you can control in your life. You can control, you have total control over how you smell and how you want to smell. That's your power. That's your right. You see what I'm saying? So, however these fragrances, you know, smell and make you feel, you know, it's totally up to you on, you know, what you purchase and how well you know what I'm saying, you know, how much you will love them and be satisfied with them. That's how I look at it. I'm not buying nothing that, you know, that, and this ain't no knock to other reviewers because I watch plenty of reviewers. You know, Fat Boy Finesse, Goldie. I watch a lot of reviewers and a lot of, you know, some of these guys, I hold their opinions in high regard. You know, it's nothing but respect for all reviewers. But at the same time, I need to get my nose on certain things that's going to cost me a certain amount of money, regardless, because I ain't taking a hit for, you know, anything over 70 bucks on a fragrance that I might not lie. I'm not blind buying, you know, a fragrance, you know, for that much, period. But definitely, you know, in my opinion, summer banger. I will wear this, you know, morning, daytime, you know, might even sneak out depending on how warm it is at night. And, you know, your fragrance is your preference. Wear it when you want to wear it. If you feel like you want to wear it at night and that's how you want to smell at night, go for it. Same as Jet Black Horizon. In my opinion, it's an evening fragrance. If you feel like you want to wear it during the day, do your thing. You know, smell how you want to smell. It's totally up to you. That's your right. That's your power. And do that. So I'm going to conclude this video, but I definitely will be making another trip out there because there's 2 more that I'm interested in. And, you know, we were kind of going back and forth about prices, and I didn't want to overdo it because I had already got these fragrances down from 110 to 90. And, you know, I was like, okay, well, I don't want to overdo it. Let me go ahead and just take the, you know, the extended hand that he had out and double back later on and see what I can do. So I will definitely be going back out there to check out a couple of more fragrances from this house that, you know, may or may not make the cut. I'm going to conclude this video. Please like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share. You know your boy Zebo 708. Definitely appreciate you. I love the support. Man, I love sharing and talking about fragrances with you guys. And we definitely gonna keep bringing good fragrances to the channel. So with that said, I'm out. Peace.